Hey there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another CSGO video. So today I will talk about slumps, why they happen and how you can get out of them. So I'd say, let's get right into it. So first of all, let's talk about skill first. So this graph basically shows you how a player improves and then how his skill kinda sets at a certain level. As we can see in our example, the player isn't very consistent, which usually is an indicator of low skill. So this is our first point. If you are still at a low skill level, so basically below MGE, you're most likely not in a slump, but instead you aren't a very good player yet, making your skill graph's amplitude very high and hence inconsistent. So as a lower skilled player, just keep playing and try to get better. That's probably the best advice for you at this very point in time, but I got something else for you later on as well. Now, if you're already a more experienced player with the game, you might indeed be in a slump, and there are two main reasons for that. First of all, reason number one, autopiloting. After having gained experience with the game, you might start playing on autopilot, which means you're just doing the same thing over and over again, no matter if it works or not. You're not really focused and actually in the game. It's kind of like your brain AFK, hence the term autopiloting. As a little real-life comparison, did you ever lock or close the door behind you and right after you ask yourself, wait, did I close the door? Did I lock it? Or maybe a more likely example for most of you, you went to the fridge, took a look inside and left. And 20 seconds later you're like, what was in the fridge again? And just before repeating the same thing and not remembering again, it's basically, well, the same thing again. So that is basically what happened to you in CSGO. You could, for another example, check out a corner, but your autopilot tells you that there probably is no one anyways. So right after checking, you turn away again just to realize that there actually was an enemy. So yeah, you gotta stay focused in the game and basically stay concentrated, not just autopilot walk around like a brainless zombie. So in order to fix this, you have to realize that you are first of all not concentrating and that you have to start focusing. What you shouldn't do is accepting that you're doing bad, making you think that you're actually playing bad, while all you do is just not paying proper attention to what is happening in the game. Another possibility, of course, is that something else is on your mind that could affect your performance. Also, do not switch settings. This will only help you for a short amount of time, like 5 to 10 minutes or something like that, just because you're forcing yourself to focus because of the new settings. I have a special video for that, linked in the description down below. Now, for our second point for causing slumps, which would be bad habits or learning wrong things. Sometimes no matter what you do, you'll learn wrong things at one point or another and it might not even be your fault. Let's say you played many games against bad players that didn't know what they were doing, so you were free to do stupid plays. Then when you're facing better players again, you want to do your stupid plays again because your brain thinks, hey, this worked out last time, we should do it again. And of course it doesn't. So you essentially got to get rid of the wrong things you learned, and there are two things you could do for that. One of them would be taking a break to basically forget the wrong things you learned and to fall back on your working skills when coming back to the game. This works pretty well for many skilled players. You could also try to power through it, trying to override your bad habits with better ones by playing more and more. This also works, however, you will feel quite shitty since this means you will have to actively get rid of the things that you're doing wrong and your wrong skills that you acquired. Now, if you're more of a lower skilled player but you still feel like you're definitely in a slump, it is kinda related to that, because then the problem for you will be that you haven't learned the better things yet. A good example for that, from my game design studies for that, was in a fighting game. When there are two new players and they fight each other, one of them will only use the down kick because it works most of the time, and the other guy doesn't know how to counter it. So at a low skill level, he can dominate. Now, the other guy is getting sick of being beaten by the same cheap noob tactic over and over again, so he decides to train more and he learns how to Kamehameha to just send him flying when he's trying to do his noob tactic again. And it's kind of the same in CSGO. You want to learn proper techniques to get better and to get better consistency in order to improve. So yeah, I hope this video helped some of you. I try to include things for skilled and non-skilled players as much as possible to give tips for everyone. But yeah, I think it's pretty much all for now. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video and Lucky KR out.